Good morning everybody, back at it here for another day. Let's see what building we can get done. Yesterday I just spent a lot of time measuring things and looking at things, and it felt like all I achieved yesterday was this little block. So the plan is that this little guy is going to sit in there, and then the drawer slider fits lovely down there. Now hopefully we're just going to plane off a little bit of this piece of wood so that it's not too tight and that drawer can move there. And then the bed rail will come and sit in that groove, and the bed rail will go along there. I've cut the piece for the door frame part here, which I'll show you in a moment. Again, this bit of wood will be sliding across the top here, so I had to keep the clearance here for the slat of the bed, which is then going to go across like that. And I've kept it with, I don't know, a quarter of an inch, half an inch is in there roughly, because when the mattress is foam, and it sits on top, it can sag through the slat slightly. So I just want to make sure that clearance is always going to be there for this to slide freely back and forth underneath. And I'll show you this now. To make this piece, I use like a scrap piece to check up my angles and mark my check for where the bed frame is going to sit. To get the shape of the frame section on the bottom, I just got the bit of paper, set the bit of paper in it and just scored it with the pen, so that it would just break through the paper to give me that shape, and then mount that on top of my piece of wood, draw that line and run it through the table saw to get me that angle. And this piece worked well, so this was just the piece I've cut up in different shapes. So we're going to cut the real ones now and we'll be good to go. It's just that finished piece, so it's just notched to the shape of this part of the frame here, and then it's got that slit for the bed rail just to sit on top of, and then it was planed down so that it was thin enough to fit here again for the drawer slider rail. So the plan here is just to bolt it down in this seat hole here. So we've got these little bolts and these brackets, so the plan is just to bolt it down there, screw it in, and that will keep it nice and secure at the back here. So like I said, I just put a little L bracket in here, bolted it down into place. That's then allowed for the piece of wood to slide in there. I'm going to screw that in, and really just this is because when the drawer is sliding out, I have to make sure that is mounted down so that the drawer isn't going to fall out. So as it's lifting up like that, I can be sure that this is going to stay in place. And it's also just in case of a crash that I don't have to worry about the bed flying somewhere. It's going to be staying attached. I've also put a little bit of rubber underneath of it. And that's really just, if there's movement or anything, I don't have to worry about this scratching the paint. I just know that bit of rubber is just going to help, and kind of like a locking washer nut as well. This was a pain. Been putting bits underneath, making sure my two bits at the sides are good. I haven't done anything at the front section yet. In fact, let's show you. Sure that these two side pieces have the right width for the runner to go down by using that piece of wood. I haven't mounted anything in, it's a bit dark in there, in this area yet for this one here, because I just need to make sure the center line for the drawer is good for those two, and then this one can pretty much go wherever it wants. Once that center line is drawn, same on the other side. Made sure that it's level. Look at that beauty! From front to back, from side to side, from corner to corner, made sure it's all level. Let's start. Need to draw a center line, and then we hope that this is actually going to be attached tonight. Whoa, let's go. So all I'm doing here is measuring the center line from where I marked it on the pieces of wood in the back to see where I wanted the rail to actually sit, ensuring there's enough clearance. I'm now just measuring up on the box or on the drawer. I'm just marking that center line, and then I'm going to put that in. And then when I've put it inside the vehicle, right now I have just put bits of support underneath to help hold the box up. This just took ages.
I obviously just wanted to make sure it was perfect. I didn't want the drawer to be sliding out or into the vehicle. I just wanted to make sure it was as level as I could. But I am no master craftsman, so hopefully this is going to turn out okay.
Okay, it's getting pretty late. I don't want to lie and say that this is all rainbows and butterflies. There's the potential that this is too tight. Where the support was here, well, I forgot, I previously talked about it, I forgot that my plan was actually to run a small joint across here to help support this piece and this piece, and actually to allow me, this is a 36-inch runner, but moving it out as far as I could over towards the back meant, you know, it would just bring it further out over the back of the rear bumper. So measured, drawn my centre line, put those things on, screwed it into this piece here, so it's got screw in here and screw into here. This is still just providing the support. I know it looks a bit wobbly, so now what I'm going to try and do is mount the bed brackets on the top so that they push outwards. It is slightly tight, that 1/64th that I was talking about, pain in the butt. I think I've done pretty much what I can do for the drawer today. I really did not get as much done as I'd hoped to. Yeah. Good morning, wonderful people. So stayed up a bit late last night getting some stuff done. Ran into a few problems with angles for level and stuff, so fixed those, and we'll show you that. So this morning I've cut the angles to fit in here for the metal rail, and measured and cut these little bits here to slide in there to provide that support for this railing here. And now I just got to cut these rails, but first we're going to give this a clean before we start actually covering things and putting the box in. Pretty much about to screw the shelf in, but it started to rain a bit, so put the tarp up. I'm sure you've seen this before. Pretty easy, bungee cord around your tyre, tarp over the roof, and then Canadian Tire sell these, or Woods, for 15 bucks. You get 2 of those, and then ratchet down to the ground into some sort of peg or anchor or something.
Oh, one thing I should have said, the reason the car is actually in a different place, I have leveled it on the ground now so that I know that whatever I build inside will be at the same level, so that's why it's in a different place. And then it's all nice and green because we're under our tarp, but we are dry, so we can stay here and it's amazing. So what I'm doing right now is marking where I'm going to cut the steel bar so that it comes down and is level with the piece of wood that we're going to put across there that's going to support the slats of the bed. So the plan for those is just to cut little supporting blocks and slide the metal bar inside and try my best to make it all look pretty. So yes, just some faffing again here, trying to figure out all these angles and whatnot.
We have our T-bar of the steel, and the angles are cut so that they're just set rounded on the edge of this piece of trim. We have the rail that is going to be for the bed slats to sit on, going from across here to the steel bar. The runners are all set, the drawer is all balanced. I have cut the shape out of the rear door trim, and this is then going to sit in here. And I have marked the height of the steel so that it sits the exact same height as this. Just a closer up shot for you, if people would find that helpful. The bar just runs into this 2x4, and I did some incorrect measurements, and sorry, I'm no master woodworker, that's why it's a bit rough, but the inch bar just then goes inside, and my bed frame that I have, I've just notched it out so that it slid inside there, and the other side comes around and is then screwed into the 2x4 on the other side. So I've got a screw in there, on the other side I've got a screw, so it's being pulled both directions, and then the same here, there's a screw in here on the other side just to add that little bit of extra strength on the bed frame.
So with all of that notched in, the steel bar sliding through its hole there, that's all level and ready. I can now put my slats on top, and I've checked my clearance and it's all good, everything's level, and I'm really happy with how that's turned out. The drawer slides freely underneath it, and yeah, it should be good once everything gets put together. Well, that's it for now. Thank you so much everybody for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, let me know in the comments what you think. Really excited with how it's going so far. It's good night for now, but we'll see you in the next video, and I'll try and get it up much sooner than I got up this video.